All right, guys, so in these problems, these are elimination problems, but you have to have an opposite in order to do them. Okay, so we can look at 35 or 36. Let's look at number 35. All right, so we can clearly see that we don't have opposites here. All right, so like right here, those aren't opposites, and those aren't opposites. So we have to create opposites. So we can decide to either create opposites in x or y. If we want to create opposites in x, we look at the two numbers in front of x, 2 and -8, and we ask ourselves, what's the smallest number that -8 and +2 can go into? And we would obviously say that the answer is 8. They can both go into 8. So we already have a -8 in the bottom, so let's create a +8 in the top. So how can I create a +8 in the top? Well, if I multiply everything by 4 on the top, I would get a +8. So we get 8x 20y, right? If we go ahead and distribute that, and then 4 times 29 is 116. Now the bottom's just going to stay the same. So we have -8x, 15y, and -11. I don't know why my pen's not working very well. So because we now have opposites, we can add these together. Those cross out. 20 and 15 would make 35. And then 16 plus -11 would equal 105. So now to get y by itself, we divide by 35. And 105 divided by 35 is 3. So we know our y value is 3. So we know that it's not D and it's not A. So how do we figure out the rest of it? We take that 3 and we plug it in. We can plug it in either the top or the bottom. Excuse me. So if I look at the top, we have 2x plus 5 times y. Well, 5 times y would be 5 times 3, which is 15. And then we just solve that. Take away 15 on both sides, you get 14. Divide both sides by 2, you get 7. So my answer is B. Now, this is a problem that's a word problem. What you have to do is you have to set it up. Okay? So we have Huang and Catherine each improved their yard by planting hostas and shrubs. They bought their supplies from the same store. Huang spent $94 on 10 hostas and 2 shrubs. So let's figure out how we would write that. 10 hostas, so 10 times H, plus 2 shrubs, so 2 times S, and he got $94. So that's how we would set it up. Catherine spent $53 on 5 hostas and 4. So 5 hostas plus 4 shrubs, and she spent $53. So instead of an X and a Y, we have an H and an S. So we want to create opposites, okay? So let's say we want to create opposites in H. Well, the opposite of 10 would be -10. So we want to multiply this by -2. So we get 10H on the top plus 2S equals 94. That's going to stay the same. The bottom becomes -10H, -8S, and then that would be -104. I'm sorry, -106. So now, when we add these together, those cross out. 2 plus -8 would make -6S. And 94 and -106, if you add those together, you get -12. So S equals 2. Well, the only answer that could be would be A. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just set this one up for you. And what I want you to do is you can use the rest of the break or your time to finish it. So we have Daniel and Amanda. So let's do Daniel. Okay, he spent $108. He bought 7 square feet of grass, of sod. So let's say 7 square feet of S. So we'll say S for sod. Plus 12 geraniums, and he made $108. Amanda made $180, and she bought 14 square feet of sod plus 6 geraniums. So that's how you would set it up. Okay. All right, they want you to write the equation of lines with these. I'm not going to look at 39 because that should be pretty easy for everyone. You know the y-intercept would be -3, and this goes down 2 and over 1. So y equals -2x minus 3. So it would be b. But I want to talk about 40. 40 is a vertical line. Vertical lines and horizontal lines can't be written in slope-intercept form. So if you look at this vertical line, what do you notice about this vertical line? Every single value on this vertical line lines up with the same x value, and that x value is 2. So my answer is A. If it's a horizontal line going left and right, it's y equals. So if I had this as my line, that would be y equals -2. All right, on these problems, what they want you to do is write the equation of a line when given a point and a slope. Remember, the point-slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So before you even do these problems, guys, you know the slope has to be -1/2. So you know it can't be this one. Now, this is your x1 and y1. So y minus your y1 equals your slope times x minus your x1. So that's how you'd set it up. Then you're going to distribute. And then you're going to add 2 to both sides. So you get y equals -1/2 x plus 4. So the answer is B. Now the last one. On these, you have to find the slope and then use the point to find the y-intercept. Okay? So let's look at number 44. Let's first find our slope between those 2 points. So remember, this will be my x1, my y1, my x2, and my y2. Remember, to find the slope, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We get -3 over +3, so our slope is -1. So guys, I can actually stop here because the only problem that has a slope of -1 is C. Now, let's say we can't figure it out that way. We have to keep going. So we know our slope is -1. Let's go ahead and use that. So our slope is -1, and we can use either point. I'm going to use 0, 2. So y minus y1 equals my slope times x minus x1. So I get y minus 2 equals -x, because when you distribute that, -1 times 0 would be nothing. And then just subtract the 2 to the other side. Whoops. No, add the 2 to the other side. Sorry about that. So we still get the answer. All right, guys? All right, so that's it for the review. Your final will be on the day that it's supposed to be on. Hit me up if you have any questions, if you want to meet for tutorial or anything like that.